Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard of streams for another edition of the Raw Rewind, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show where we take no nights off, and obviously you can't be, you can't do the Raw Rewind without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Well, hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Hello. Fine.
Look at. We got sock season coming. Red Sox are coming.
Also, it doesn't look like there's Expedia is saying that my hotel's booked, so we'll have to look somewhere else.
Oh, that's tough.
I'll look on a different site, but just not right this second.
Of course not, because we are rewinding Raw. If anyone wants to know why the hell Sara is on Expedia.com, it's because we are trying to finalize our WrestleMania plans. All right, WrestleMania is fast approaching. I got people telling me that my tickets that I'm offering it's a scam. It's not. Please hit me up in my DMs on Twitter or X, whatever.
They haven't responded to you?
I responded back with a picture, and I have not got a response back.
Ay.
And not a picture of, like, the barcode. I'm not that stupid, all right, for any of the peeps wondering. No, but the picture of, like, that folder you have on Game Time.
Yeah, but also Tim retweeted you, which is probably how he saw you. And it's like, Tim's not going to retweet a scam. So,
I mean, even
and
the
we're
man
right
himself, L.A. Knight,
yeah.
Like, it recognizes Tim. So, by de facto, L.A. Knight recognizes us. So, I don't know why people would think that it's a scam. So, but you know what? We keep plugging. We're offering a fair price for anyone watching right now. Just either hit the comments below or go to my tweet on X at @Pat_Pitts. Because I'm dead serious. We upgrade our tickets because we're better than you, and we want to be up close for when this happens. All right. And we just need to be there. So we're gonna do it this time. Whatever. I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. I've got so wrapped up in that because we're trying to get that done and whatnot, and things came up. And after last night, Sara, I'm even more and more excited because not only WrestleMania, but we got the Chamber coming up, and it was finalized, and things are moving. All right, as we speak. So before I toss it to you to get us back on track and organized, we got to hear from the peeps. Rainy Days You're New. Hello, welcome. David's here. Dickie saying yesterday was Raw of the Year.
I mean,
it's pretty damn up there, Sara.
Well, it's still early in the year, so I don't see a problem with that. You know,
I don't see a problem with that.
It was February 19th, so
shout out Dickie's birthday. It's my dad's birthday. All right, Dickie, you told a lot of stories. Intimania and possibly Gable Gunther. Don't piss off. Don't piss off the best of the West with that at the moment, because we will definitely hear your thoughts about that. Good shit, Bernard. Way to be. Love to see that. Love to hear that. Nathaniel Cranshaw, how's it go? We can't either. We can't wait to see that. And so Nathaniel's showing some love.
I think I got it from Fanatics. I don't know. It's not new. I don't know what shirt it is. I don't know. I think it's Fanatics. It's probably however many years ago. It's just an old school, Pat Patriot. So, got to do it for our boy Matthew Slater.
I know. So sad. Happy trails.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite Patriots. So,
yeah, he was his unsung hero for sure.
Yeah.
So yes, Sara, let's talk about what apparently Dickie's saying is Raw of the Year.
Okay, so we first get Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, and I don't think anyone felt like this was not going to be a good match. I'm just excited that it was the first match of the night because, as the banner says, it was I want to say pay-per-view quality, but that's not what they say anymore. They call it PLE. It was a premium live event quality match. So I think it had 3 commercial breaks. Again, long match too, which it's a good match because if it goes on that long, then it's typically pretty good. And the whole thing was great. I mean, you were very invested. It's not like there was really anything on the line, so to speak, of whoever won. It's not like, they won anything. However, I assumed that Drew was going to win, which I totally forgot that would have that makes Cody's only his second loss, I think.
Second loss on the main roster, only has 2.
Yeah. So we see
Crazy.
Drew get the upper hand because the bloodline, of course, they're going to try and cause some drama with Cody on behalf of Roman because Roman's and The Rock are so pissed that he has to face Cody at Mania. So they come in and we see Solo hit Cody with the Samoan spike. Very reminiscent of what happened last year at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
So
it was a little reminiscent.
it was exactly the same way. He lost exactly the same way.
Exactly the same.
So that I thought was like fantastic. I loved that. And I felt like it played very well into both of their stories, you know?
Oh, 1,000%. This played well, really. Yeah, obviously with Cody and the Samoan spike, that hit you over the head. But you gotta realize Drew was also uh costed the WWE championship by the bloodline, or the bloodline cost Drew the WWE championship. So,
Mhm.
and they did it literally with the exact same thing. Solo
Mhm.
interfering. I forget if he hit him with a Samoan spike or not. I think he just pulled the ref out. But same tomato potato. And that's a great little detail to Drew's story that, all right, the bloodline helped him in his favor.
Mhm.
So now, like, it's like, all right, the shoe's on the other foot. I know how this feels. It's my time. It's my redemption arc where
Mhm.
things are finally starting to turn out well for me and whatnot. The bloodline's on my side, whatever, however you want to turn it. But I loved that element to it a little bit more than the Cody one because of how ingeniously entwined it can make it.
Yeah. I know. I think it was a good move with Drew going into Elimination Chamber
Yes.
also, because then we will see him in a match on SmackDown as well, which I wouldn't be surprised if we see him lose that one if he's going to win the chamber, just because historically speaking, the one who wins usually loses.
Yeah, you don't win on the night before the pay-per-view.
But I
That's
don't
not
know. This is Triple H, so I don't know. That's just like the historic, formula of how wrestling stories work. So I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does lose. And I'm fine with it because if that means that he wins at Elimination Chamber, then by all means, please just let the man lose and then let him win at Elimination Chamber. That's fine. I do wonder, though, if it does have anything to do with Elimination Chamber or if it has any impacts on what they're going to do at Mania. Just because normally this wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just a random match, right? That was just like, oh, we don't like each other, or whatever. Like we're kind of going for the same thing, but different titles. It's just like they're on the same path, but not the same. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Essentially.
because it's so significant that this was Cody's only his second loss, and the fact that it was once again at the hands of the bloodline, and then Drew benefited from it, to me, it feels like there might be something more here. I don't know what it is. But I feel like this was done on purpose, obviously. And I'm just wondering what it might lead to at Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania, if anything. I don't know if you thought about this, but that was my immediate thought was just like, I wonder what the long-term effects of this might be.
See, to me, the long-term effects don't really connect Drew and Cody. To
No,
me,
no, 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 no. I just meant even individually, like if
to
this is a moment that's going to be like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, this is a big moment in Cody's story more than it is Drew's. I
mhm.
would say, because this might be the okay, wow, the bloodline really screwed me. And I hold on, I don't want to tease anything? So wanna. Yep. Okay. I'll just waiting for my comment there. Um, so going back more to the Drew thing because I see you have a banner about it. Um, is that right now for Drew's story? It's more like oh, the wheels are starting to turn.
Mm-hmm.
I can be this little heel who gets away with things, and maybe I need to do this stuff to get what I want because it's look at what's happening to the bloodline. Look what happens when you don't do it, and you end up like Cody, who constantly is just whining and crying
Mm-hmm.
about finishing his story. Um, so to me, it's going to make Drew a little bit stronger. And then, I'll let you tease the banner before I give my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think this kind of, I mean, not that he necessarily needed it, but I think maybe to some people this legitimized Drew a little bit more because he did just get a
Yes.
win over the top
Yeah.
guy on Raw. And like I said, I don't think he necessarily needs it. Drew's the top guy, but in this current run, I would say maybe this benefits him on the go home show. I
Hmm.
do think that this was a good thing for Cody too, because you don't want him to be on this really hot streak leading to Mania, because then that'll make it seem like even more that they want him to lose. I feel like this is kind of, or that they're going to have him lose. To me, this is like, okay, this is another obstacle that they're throwing in his path
Yeah.
on the way to Roman. And we might keep seeing this. We might keep seeing Jay and Solo show up on Raw and like make
Yes.
Cody's life a living hell until WrestleMania. So they might even do the whole
Yes.
thing like, why don't they try to injure him before? Like they might really try to stack all the cards against Cody as much as possible. What if he walks in with a broken arm or like a messed up ankle? You know what I mean? Like I really would not be surprised if they try to go down that route, because then it's playing into the heel part of Rock and Roman, because it's like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, they just want to mess with Cody, and all of it's coming from insecurity on Roman's
And
part.
yeah,
Um, but then
payback for
also, if Cody wins, it makes it look a little more impressive because, oh, he did it on one leg or one arm or something. You know what I mean? Like
he did it in on half a body.
yeah, like I just really would not be surprised about that. And then before we get to comments, because I see we got a lot of people talking. I did want to mention that we see Cody
There
in
it
the
is.
back
That's
with
what
the
I'm looking for.
trainer. Obviously, got that red mark from that taped up thumb on Solo's hand. And I loved this moment because nothing was said, just
Nothing.
exchanged looks, exchanged sighs, and you just knew what was being said. You just knew that Seth was like, I told you this was going to happen. I told you this, that you were going to need me. You just got the proof. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, just tell me, like, you want me to be on your side. So I am very, very excited to see where this lands, because I think we're getting more and more closer to what everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are talking about it becoming a Marvel movie. We're going to see, the army of this army versus this army. And I really think that makes it a little, not that the match, that the Cody versus Roman isn't exciting, but I think this element becoming involved in the story is making it a little bit more exciting, because I also feel like, to me, in my mind, and I hope this isn't just wishful thinking speaking, but to me it seems like this is more evidence that Roman's losing. Like he,
Thousand
like
percent. Thousand
it
percent. This
has to
is
be,
yeah.
and
The
if it's not, it's a huge mistake.
It's a huge mistake, and that's what I was kind of tiptoeing around earlier, is that this was the moment for Cody where he goes, "Shit, I need backup." It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength at the end of the day, because I can put
Mm-hmm.
my feelings or whatever towards Seth, towards whoever, Sammy, whoever the guy may be, and they're gonna be, my Avengers, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna take on Thanos and his army. You know what I mean? It's like it's absolutely a move that they need to do, and especially the rumblings I've heard with how they're going to make this an Attitude Era type, finish. This is not a Vince McMahon trying to recreate the Attitude Era type of
Mm-hmm.
finish. This is Triple H who lived it, was part of those finishes, and look at what he's done with the product now. You combine those two things, and you're going to get the proper way Cody, is deserved to,
Hmm.
quote unquote, finish his story.
And I think it also just adds so much more to the Roman and Rock's part of it
Thousand
too.
percent.
For Roman to lose, even though he has The Rock in his corner, and then if The Rock turns on him or something, like there's just so much added fluff that I feel is needed. And it makes the whole thing a little bit more exciting than if it was just a
Mhm.
typical, okay, Cody loses, or even if Cody won. Not that it wouldn't be satisfying, but I think all of the things that they've had to do this past year to get to this point, or even in just the past couple weeks with the pivot, it's just making what seems to be the end result of Cody winning that much better. And I feel
Yes.
both sides will benefit from it, because like I've said, it to me, there's no reason for Cody to lose. If anything, you're just basically saying we're gonna keep paying this guy millions of dollars to sit on the couch until next year's
Yeah.
WrestleMania when he's gonna face his cousin. Like, but how legendary are people gonna think Roman is at that point? People are already questioning his legendary
No,
status now.
this is
Never
where you
mind.
pick him off top.
Yeah, and he
Pick
could
him off
easily
top.
be a baby face. Like, make Drew the top heel, you know?
Drew needs to be the top heel. He's the closest thing I've seen to a Swerve Strickland type heel.
Oh my god,
Evil, maniacal.
it's funny because when we were watching the match last night, I told my nephew because he loves Cody. He loves Drew too, but Cody's one of his guys.
That's his guy.
And yeah, one of them, because Bobby's the other one.
True.
Um and so I told him, I was like, oh my gosh, you get to see Cody tonight, because he doesn't always get to, because Cody's on the second hour or the whatever.
Yeah.
And so he's already going to bed. And so I'm like, you get to see Cody tonight. And so right when it started, I showed him. And then he was like asking my sister and I, like, who do you want to win? He's like, I want Cody. And my sister's like, I want Drew, because she loves them both, but
Me too.
she's Drew. And I'm like, I don't know. But so he was very upset that Cody lost. But I was like, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's
It's
okay.
okay. He needs to get knocked down a few times before he can finish that story.
Yes. Yep. Um,
2024 is all about finishing that story, Sarah.
apparently, because did you see CM Punk was there last night?
He
Did you
was
see that?
there?
Yeah, and when Raw went off the air, Cody went out to be like, "Yay, main event Jey Uso. He's great. That was a great match. No, the
Yeah.
bloodline sucks." And
Oh
then he
yeah, and
was
he was doing they sang a song without his music. Yeah.
yeah, and then he was like, "There's someone else who wants to come out and like say hi to you, Anaheim," and it was CM Punk. So and then he was like, "Hi, ha ha, like I'm here." And was just like, I'm gonna come back and finish my story, basically. And it was like, okay, everybody wants to finish their story.
It's
Like,
so funny.
I know. I'm like,
It's,
Cody, you should have trademarked it.
he really should trademark it at this point.
Yeah, because everybody is like, I love wrestling. Wrestling's my life. I want to finish my story. And it's like, Cody, you should have.
I saw a clip the other on Facebook or something where someone who is not a wrestling fan, only was when they were a kid like every other kid, uh and is on TikTok, and their For You page is all Cody Rhodes, Rock, wrestling because of this
Oh,
shit, and he's getting back into it because of it.
mm-hmm.
Like,
The
we need
power.
more stories like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's a guy whose story I don't want to have finished. I want to keep reading.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's so back. I've been telling my friends, I'm like, give it a year or two, and this shit's gonna be back. Like, in pop culture, it's happening. Just
Do you want?
trust the process. I'm
Do you want
getting
to
to
get to
comments.
comments? Because I
I'm
saw we
getting
have a
some.
ton of comments.
Yeah, we'll go start here. Cody's getting
Yes.
together his Avengers. He
Well, and
literally
who's
is.
the better? Who is a better superhero to represent WWE than the guy that wears red, white, and blue?
He's
Come on.
literally Captain America.
Yeah, he's
He's
He's Captain
literally.
American Nightmare. Okay,
He's
that's what he
so
is.
cool. He's so
What's
cool.
up,
What's up,
Marcus?
Marcus? How we doing? Um, I'm trying to get to stuff that went. Yeah, this is the new attitude era, hyper realism. I'd go social media era. Like, this is the
Yeah.
social media era,
Well,
because
but it's like, because I would say the social media era was when they were like promoting like tout. You know what I mean? Like,
out. I
yeah,
missed out. I never used it, but
I
like it
never
would
did
look
either.
cool.
But I would say that was more of it. But I would say this is the social media era in a different way, because I think that was more about, pushing out um apps and stuff like that, and collaborations with apps. I feel like this is more, I understand what he says about like hyper realism, because it's it's fiction, but they're really blurring the lines between
Really?
what's real and what's not. And they're doing, I feel, a pretty good job with that, because it's not like the 90s where, kayfabe exists, and it's because no one had cell phones, the internet wasn't a thing, and now
It's
they can't
not.
really get away with a lot of stuff because everybody has a camera, and you can't really go anywhere without there being 20 people around you that have a camera out. So I feel like they're doing a pretty good job with making it interesting, because I think they also understand like their audience is aging also. So the people who have
Mhm.
been watching for 20 plus years, they need it to still feel realistic, but then the kids who are growing up on it, they don't know anything different. You know what I mean? But you need to cater to everybody at the same time. So I feel like this
Absolutely.
is a pretty happy medium.
That yeah, I would say it is a happy medium. Yeah, because you do have guys that they will kind of break a little bit, but then you have people like Grayson Waller who it is 24/7
You don't
nonstop.
know who he really is.
I
He's
love that.
he's
I
Grayson
love
Waller.
that so much.
Yeah.
It's a lost art, and we
Or
need more to be for people to bring it back.
it's like, and Gunther is Gunther like 99% of the time.
No, that's him. That
Yeah.
is they're the man in the ring and the man out of the ring to me are the same person. No,
Walter.
not Walter Gunther, tomato potato, like same thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Uh, I'm trying to get to ones that we haven't got
Yeah,
to.
because I saw like there's a ton.
There's a ton, but it's more. There's some conversation which we like. Um, Maybe got another one. This is the closest to the Agitator we've been in a long time because it's mainstream. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, give it a year or two before it really pops off into being more mainstream again. But with these collabs and I mean the partnerships with TKO is massive, and I mean the UFC collabs. Conor McGregor getting called out last night.
That was insane. And the dude took his shirt off and was like going
Yeah,
ham.
like
But this is the thing, they were performing for the Netflix people too. Like, the Netflix people were
fine.
there, and so they put on a banger show, because of course they were like, this is what we can do. And it's like, this isn't what you guys do every week, but we'll take it because that was a fire show. But yeah, they look like they're going to be implementing more of the UFC stuff now, which I
Called
mean,
out Conor McGregor.
I know that'll be pretty epic too, because if it ends up coming to fruition, they'll be able to use a clip from WWE Raw to look back on when he called him out.
Like, that's insane. And
Yeah.
I tried to talk to my friend last night and he like shrugged it off. And I was like, dude, you're not there. You don't get it yet. And then
Mhm.
when it actually comes in, he's like, that's crazy. I'm like, I freaking told you it's why I'm the fucking champ.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, move, we can move on, Sarah, because yeah.
Okay. Um,
Um,
I'll get a couple then. We are gonna talk about
oh,
Gunther's match. Of course
you
we
wait,
are. Of
Vinny.
course we
Just
are.
you
Um,
wait.
and Jay says he thinks hyperrealism is WCW doing the Scott Hall thing and the Matt and Edge fighting. Yeah, I mean, I think that was just like, yeah, drawing way too much inspiration from real life. And don't even get me started on the WCW thing, because that was just doing Scott dirty. That was just nasty
Yeah,
work.
I don't expect you to have
Yeah.
speak on that.
Because
So
also he was never drunk when he was working. So the fact that they were then trying to like play it up to be like, yeah, he was an
it also
alcoholic.
is
And
WCW. Like it's very low life.
no, I know, but I'm like, just for
Yeah.
clarification purposes, if anyone actually thought he was
Oh, okay,
drunk while
okay.
working, no, he was not.
No.
Maybe later in life when he was doing appearances, but never when he was wrestling.
Yeah, no, when he was doing appearances, I can't back you up there.
Yeah, no, I'm very aware of him being kicked out of stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not in the,
But
under a
that's
rock here.
why that's how you know you're a real fan.
What?
True, true.
That I
Sticking
acknowledge.
with him through the highs and lows. What?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
So then we get to the women's battle royal to determine the final lady in the elimination chamber match, because we saw that it was supposed to be Jade, but they backed out, which I think we fully support for the most part, given their reasoning for it, or
Yes.
alleged reasoning for it, because I'm not taking what Dave Meltzer has to say very serious
Oh, I don't
anymore.
take him with a grain of I take him with a grain of
Yeah.
salt.
Yeah. So I think this had maybe 20 girls in it. I don't think that they ever said how many. My guess
They
is
didn't say
20.
how many. They didn't say how many, but it was a
Yeah.
wide variety.
I would guess around 20. So we did, I mean, it was a fine match. I mean, they didn't have eliminations for quite a few minutes, which I was surprised about. We did
Yeah,
see
they gave him time.
Zoe and Shayna work together for most of the match, basically until the end. Raquel Rodriguez returned for however long she's been gone. And I think right away you knew the second that
That was
you knew she was
yeah. I
yeah.
knew. I texted you. Rachel's gonna win.
Yeah, you did. You said
The
Rachel's gonna win.
autocorrect that strikes again.
I was really hoping that it was going to be Chelsea, just because they were like hyping her up so much and saying, "Oh, she's going to get her chance in
Oh
the
my
Last
god.
Chance Battle Royal." So I thought Chelsea, but it is what it is. I mean, I guess if you go from a big strong woman like Jade, you're going to want to put another big strong woman in there, and the next
And
one
that's
is
what. Yeah.
Raquel. So they did come down to the final two. It was Raquel and Chelsea. You thought Chelsea was eliminated, which I was confused, because I was like, I don't think Chelsea was eliminated. But then Michael Cole was like, we're down to the final four, and it wasn't Chelsea in there. And I was like, wait, I was confused. So when she popped back up and was like, ha ha ha, and Raquel was like, no, and threw her out, I was like, all right. So now it's going to be Raquel Rodriguez versus Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi. Is that it?
That is it.
Okay.
I love this match. I love this
Yeah.
matchup. Like, if and this is why I don't mind Jade not being in the elimination chamber. And to me, this is more of not Jade is not ring ready yet. It's that they needed to get Raquel back so that she could be at WrestleMania. Oh, I
Maybe
100% see that.
I could see it being that, but I also think they didn't want to put Jade in a match that she was going to inevitably lose. They don't want her
That was
debut match to be a loss. So
yes,
I think it was a
that was their
combo.
yeah, that exactly what I'm saying. Like she was ready to come back and like, well, we can kick Jade out because of what you just said. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
combination of that, but it more solidified it last night when I heard her music. I'm like, oh, okay. Like literally the light bulb went off of why Jade
Mhm.
wasn't in it and the multitude of all that. Like, and it's fine. And I like that Raquel's in it because you do need that strong woman, that big beast who can go to eye with Rhea Ripley, and it's not like a
Mhm.
Liv Morgan who has beat
Yeah.
her before and can beat her, but that underdog feel.
Yeah.
And I I just I love Rocky. I love Raquel Rodriguez. She's so good, and I feel like she's very underappreciated.
I mean, I think she's good. She's just boring to me. She's got a back. That's her character. Remember? That's just what it
She
is.
got
Hey, look at
back
my back.
dimples. It's pretty cool.
But the thing is, though, it was like my sister reminded me when they were in Saudi and she couldn't wear, with her back out, and she's like
Yeah,
flexing, and it's like no one can even see it because she had to wear
try
the
something new.
long sleeves. And it's like, okay, get a new character, girly. Like we all have backs, honey.
Baby got
But
back.
yeah. So we'll talk about their segment that we see later in the show shortly. But first, before we get there, since you talked about Rhea Ripley, we had Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax talk via satellite because Rhea, of course, is already in Australia. So queen stuff. So she gets on screen and she says that the last time that she wrestled in Australia, it was when she was in the Indies and she had almost quit because she just felt defeated. And she says so she has to keep reminding herself of who she is and how far she's come, and that she is the most dominant woman in all of WWE. Nia says that she is twice her size and she also has 3 times the talent, and she will send mommy home crying for her mommy. Rhea then says, you're going to crumble when you come out and the entire arena is chanting for mommy, because then you're going to realize that you're just not good enough. And she says she will see her in Perth.
She did
And
not like that.
no, she didn't. But what I thought the most interesting part about this was, and I understand she's going against Nia Jax and she's kind of been skirting the line for a little bit, but like they've kind of been separating her from Judgment Day recently. And I'm like, are they just trying to get her over and kind of give her this babyface feel because she's going to her home country for the first time in WWE? And we know that she's going to get cheered for no matter what because of that. Or are they going to try and like full blown turn her babyface? Because,
I think it's the hometown thing more than anything.
yeah.
Like there's no. I mean, because it's only a babyface right now. Like when she gets to Mania, the crowd's gonna be cheering for Becky. No one wants to cheer for Nia Jax. Nia Jax doesn't even want people to cheer for her. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
she's
so
technically, when you're a heel, you don't want them to cheer for you.
you get there you go.
They're going.
Circle
That's
gets
the thing that
square.
I always loved the heels, and they're probably like wanting to kick my ass when they see me on a
Oh
show, and
my
I'm like,
god.
yeah, but it's like, I'm sorry,
It's
I
my
can't
fa it
help
was
it.
my favorite thing to do to BRG. But yeah, like, you so right now, I get it, and I actually like it because Judgment Day need to be, uh, feared and need to be very much hated, and you have Mommy attached, you're just not gonna have that, and they're kinda dealing with their own thing right now, and I like how they're dealing with their own separate things and being dominant in that,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
I'm for it. And actually was a big fan of her just shutting Nia Jax up and what
Yeah.
we see later in the show. It was awesome.
Nia just looked so pissed off, and I'm like, you would think that she
She
just
looked
really.
so angry.
But it's funny because I'm like, you would think Rhea said something like completely horrific. Like she really
Yes,
didn't. She's just like, I'm just really dominant and good at my job. And Nia was just like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that to me. And it's like, calm down, girl. Like she didn't
I was
say
oh my god, it was so
anything, but
funny.
yeah. Um,
Insecurities, girl.
mhm. That is. So then we see this such a ridiculous thing. Our
This
truth.
was fucking incredible. He is my
It's
favorite human.
he's basically, as the banner says, he's basically the comic relief right now. Like it's just like everything he
It's
does is
so
just
good.
entertaining, even though it's like 10 times out of 10 is like the most ridiculous thing that you have ever seen, or some of the most ridiculous stuff that we have seen in a very long time in WWE. But I'm here for it. I love that they have like all the other wrestlers and the commentators and everything entertaining this. Like they're going along with it to keep
Yeah.
furthering what Truth is saying, saying Nick Mysterio, and they can't keep keeping him out and like forbidding him from being on Facebook, and he's wearing the poncho and he shows up in the poncho. So
The
I
poncho had me in stitches. Like, what are we doing?
I I'm still entertained by this. I like that he's kind of not like super directly involved with Judgment Day, because I know that we were talking about how a lot of people, at least in the chat, were getting kind of like over it, and I saw some people on Twitter as well that were just, okay, we're ready to move on from this. So I think that if they're going to move him on to like another group or something like DIX,
DIX.
I think that's the way to go, because they're on board with it too, and it
Yeah,
fits their vibe a bit more because they're also baby faces and they're silly, and
they are yeah.
Miz is quick on his feet as well. So I'm enjoying it. Whatever it ends up becoming, I have no idea, but I'm fine with it right now. Whatever
You
it
need
is.
it. You need it in the show. I mean, it just Dickie's comment just catches my eye and kind of sums up my feelings here. Like he's a
Mhm.
treasure. He's an absolute treasure to the show because it's so serious. We just talked about. I mean, let me just take a quick peek of the banners. Like Cody and Drew, serious. Elimination Chamber with the women's elimination chamber, serious. Rhea and Nia, like that's serious feud. You need to break that up, and people look forward to seeing our truth on the show. They
Yeah.
may not enjoy him week in and week out with Judgment Day unless it's something, new and fresh. That's why you go and have him team up with the babyface team like DIYX. It's like, and then the Miz is always going to be his companion because the Miz, like, they're both veterans. We're not stupid. Like we know that you can just put them two together
Mhm.
because they've just been there for a while and they don't have to be this dynamic tag team who knows everything about one another. Like you just need
Yeah.
allies in the back, and that's what they're always going to be. So it works out for everyone. And honestly, brain blast idea I just had because of Truth being with Judgment Day gets the merch. DIYX, you could start some
No,
merch there.
DIX. DIX.
DIX, whatever it
They're not
is.
going to do that.
I don't Sorry, if they can find a way to make
Dicks? You
money,
think they're going to put dicks on a shirt?
DIYX. That's
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
DIX. That's what they've been going with, not DIYX.
Oh, so you can't put
DIX.
dicks on a shirt.
That's what I'm saying. You just weren't listening to me. Johnny Gargano has already done it where it was like it's DIX. So then it's like DX, but also DI. So it's, yeah, they're not going to put dicks on a shirt. I mean,
Well, if you
I
had
guess
the
I wouldn't
Y,
rule it out, but
I mean, they had a shirt where DX animated little Funko Pop looking DX guys were mooning
well,
mooning
and
you
they
in the
had
back of the shirt.
420 bro and whatever. So I mean, I guess, but I'm sure
Yeah,
that they're just going to not make it in kid sizes, you
yeah,
know.
no, they won't.
Cuz they
I
don't
would
want kids
probably
walking around with it.
They did
Um
when I was in school. Such a more fun time.
yeah. Do you want to get to some comments? Cuz I see we have a bunch again. I saw some new
Crab
names
slap
too.
hammer says dicks yourself.
Crab slap hammer sounds a little
What do
perverted.
we
I don't
what do we
know. DIX yourself, like,
dicks
I don't know.
yourself?
Yeah, like DX. I don't know. We appreciate
You know what? You
you,
put
crab
in
slap.
effort.
Thank you.
We
See, he
appreciate you,
understands the
crab slap.
DIX, not DIYX.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
we
know
do.
what? Crab slap, we appreciate you. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to see what Marcus is saying. No, that isn't. JD might be heels, but they're not actually bad guys. They're just a faction bending the rules. So they're like the popular kids in high school. That's what it is. And what are the popular kids in high school? Kind of heels. They're
Well,
kind of heels.
and it's like I'm okay with it, but I'm not okay with it because I feel like they're really missing an opportunity to make them like some of the top heels in the company. Like they were trying to at one point, and then they realized, okay, well, people kind of love Rhea Ripley. They love the dynamic between her and Dominic, and the people love to boo Dom. And then the R-Truth thing kind of set them back because it was like it was too entertaining for them to make them super bad. And then Truth isn't going away. So even though they've beat him up multiple times, Truth keeps coming back for more. So yeah, I don't know what this means, but we'll have to see.
Awesome
I
Truth
know.
might win tag titles at Mania. What if they do that and that's how Judgment Day gets a little bit more of an edge to them?
I don't want to see it. No.
Well, you can't have Judgment Day win and Gunther
I
and
wasn't asking for them to win. I'm just saying I don't want Awesome Truth to win. I
I
still
don't
think that they
want it.
need to do something to split the tag titles. So then I won't care if the Awesome Truth win. I just think that we need to split them because there's too many tag teams.
I'm sorry, this one gets me because anytime or when I saw the cool goth jocks, I just thought of the tweet of someone calling Damian Priest a bisexual Undertaker. I still like that tweet was just so out of pocket. It's just
Yeah.
absurd. All right, what's next? I'll let you.
Then we
Whenever.
have Sami Zayn. He talks about how he wants to focus on WrestleMania, but Nakamura is like, "LOL, no." Um, so basically Sammy is just continuing with the underdog stuff, and he was asked about what do you think about Drew and like what Drew said and the fact that then he just went out there and beat Cody. And Sammy said that he has to kind of put whatever his feelings are, his thoughts about Drew in the past. He can't focus on that because right now we're on the road to WrestleMania and the big picture is WrestleMania and he still needs to figure out what he's going to be doing at the show. So he's just letting us know what his plans are. But then later we see Nakamura cutting another promo on Sammy, and he just says that he can give him the spotlight if he's so desperate for it, and that he'll make sure that he stays an underdog by beating him again. So I love Nakamura. I love what they're doing with Nakamura. But I'm just not loving this whole. I feel like they keep putting him in feuds that are going on too long. The whole thing with Cody, it was like it was too long, then they stopped it, then they like reignited it for a week, and now they're like he went with Sammy and then that seemed done and now he's going after Sammy again. It's like, okay, it's clear you don't have any plans for Nakamura. You don't know what to do with him, so you just keep having him revisit things that he's already done. So I don't love this, but I guess Sammy versus Nakamura at Mania. I'm not going to be mad about it because that's my favorite one of my favorite matches
Run
from
it
like
back.
10 years ago. Um, But I don't know if that's the angle that they're trying to take, with Sammy for Mania. I don't know
No,
how
I don't
that.
think this is a Mania thing.
Well, I'm just trying to say, like, I'm trying to think, like, they haven't really given us any clues about what they're going to do with Sammy at
Mhm.
WrestleMania. So the fact that they keep going back to him and Nakamura, it's like, okay, is this what you're trying to do? And as much as I would love to see it on, the Mania stage, I just don't know that really fits the whole Sammy's an underdog thing. It doesn't really make any sense. I mean, I have no idea. I can't even predict what they're going to do with Sammy. I have no idea. Um, but
I
yeah, I just
don't
don't
either.
love this whole Nakamura thing because I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. I want to see Nakamura feud with someone else.
The only thing I really have to add about it, because I don't really mind it, is if we're gonna just go with Nakamura being the underlying evil within a show, and
Mm-hmm.
whoever is the most chipper, underdog, most likable, whatnot with the fans, and they're just kind of lost on their own path, he's just gonna be creeping there. And if we're gonna do that with Nakamura, I'm totally fine with it because the promos he's cutting every week, I don't know what the fuck he's saying and any of these promos.
He's just gonna be creeping.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be
I know.
creeping. Like I'm
It just
okay
sounds
with it.
funny. Vinny says Nakamura versus Okada. It's with a D, Vinny. But Okada's going to AEW, so that's not happening.
What we could have
I know.
had.
I know.
That would have been just
I know.
been awesome.
But see, the thing is at this point, I don't really feel like it's our loss. I think it's his loss. That's the
Oh, it
mindset.
absolutely is.
I mean, he's had so much time to think about what will I do whenever I leave New Japan? Like, what do I want to do with my wrestling career before it's over? And WWE has been the standard, the one that's been around forever. He's even dreamt about going to WrestleMania. He had the opportunity to do that, and he went and chose to go to AEW. So I feel like at this point, it's his loss. I'm not going to dwell on the what ifs anymore because it's not going to serve any purpose in my life. He could have had a banger
I
match
agree.
with Nakamura, but that in AJ Styles and Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. But he wants to go fight. I don't know,
Wants
whoever
to
in
fight.
AEW, whoever's not on
Who's
Collision
who
this
he's
week.
already who he's already fought on numerous occasions.
Yeah,
And
and I just don't know that it's going to be that exciting for them for very long because I mean, he's like you said, he's already been there. People have already been excited because he was there. I
already
don't think it's
fought
going to.
Osprey.
Yeah, well, but has he fought Osprey else in New Japan too or no?
Yeah, that's where he fought Osprey.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant he did it on
No,
AEW.
he fought Osprey. Him and Kenny Omega fought 4 times. He had a thing with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, see, I don't know if that's
I mean, he
really.
could. I mean, him and Orange Cassidy would be pretty sick.
Yeah, but
Edge
I don't know.
or Adam Copeland, the rated R superstar.
Stop. So he's
Yeah,
yeah, he ain't coming to WWE, brother. He's never coming to WWE. He's 36. He's not coming. I mean, at least with Osprey, we were like, okay,
Sting.
maybe he could come because he's only 30.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Okada could. I mean, obviously Nakamura's in his 40s, but still,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what his contract is with AEW, so I'm not sure. Um, Then we move on to Becky Lynch, who this is a thing too. I don't love these segments. I'm kind of tired of it. I saw like a wrestling writer writing about it last night, how he doesn't love these segments either. So I feel like I'm not alone, but we can talk about it in a second. So Becky comes out. She says that she has done a lot in her career, but there are still a few new possibilities left, especially because she has not been in an Elimination Chamber match yet, which I find to be insane for everything that
Yeah, I
this
couldn't
woman
believe
has
that
done.
either. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that either.
It's like when they said her cage match with Trish was her first ever cage match. I'm like, what? Like her
Yeah.
first real, like a real cage, because obviously she had
Not
that
Hell in a
whole thing with
Cell.
damage control. Yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Um, But anyway, so she says her and Rhea will inevitably collide and it will be the fight of their lives. She says she's ready for Elimination Chamber. And although she has nothing against all of the other women that are in the match, besides Tiffany, who is annoying. And I said, Becky, girl, do not insult my queen like that because you are my queen too, but do not do that to Tiffy time. She says she's beaten most of them. She just hasn't beaten them, obviously, in a chamber match. So that is when everybody else in the Elimination Chamber match was like, it's my turn to come out. So Liv comes out and she takes issue with Becky saying that she's going to be the one that's going to win at Elimination Chamber and face Rhea because, hello, I have a history with Rhea. We were tag team partners and then she turned on me. And then I went on to be tag team partners with Raquel Rodriguez and we were 2-time women's tag team champions. And then Rhea injured me and kept me sidelined for 6 months. So I need to seek my revenge on Rhea. And not to mention, I was the last one to beat Rhea, which it was like, oh, yeah.
Gee, tell me what I'm telling lies.
Yes. And then everybody else comes out. Raquel comes out, then Naomi, then Tiffany, and then Bianca. And it's just the same old that we keep seeing in these types of matches. And, you know, it was kind of a pointless segment. But I understand that the main reason for it was to get all of these girls on Raw. They just wanted to make sure that all of them got to be on Raw, especially because the SmackDown this week was pre-taped, so it's not like they can be like, okay, let's make sure they're on the show before the show. It's not going to happen. But I did feel, one, I like that this did add a little bit more substance to their match, much like what they've been doing with the men's match, where they're adding a little bit of spice, like we said, to the men's match. So it's not just these, 6 random dudes just thrown in a match. Like there's a little bit of substance to their stories, and then there's some issues within the match between guys. So I feel like this was a little bit of that as well. And it kind of felt like they were hinting at maybe a Bianca versus Tiffany.
They hinted that a lot. No, they hinted that a lot when Tiffany, the segment on SmackDown, and then the way Bianca was talking to her in the ring, being like, "You pin you, I'm gonna pin you. I'm definitely gonna pin you." It's like, all right, there's already bad blood there. That's gonna be low-key a feud that slaps too.
I think that they're trying to go with this idea or attitude of the other girls that they don't take Tiffany seriously. I think that's kind of just because of how they all spoke about her, that they're just downplaying who she is and how good she is. And Becky has experienced it. Obviously, she doubted her, but then look at the matches that they had for the women's championship in NXT. So everybody knows now that Tiffany is legit. Even if you look at her and you think she's not, because she's wearing pink and it's frilly and like she talks like this and it's Tiffy time. Like,
did you see that they changed her up a little bit? They changed
her music. Yeah.
People and they got rid of the pink Barbie stuff.
Yeah, they were like, they def rebelled her song, and I was like, I know.
They def rebelled that stuff.
So
I don't mind them steering away from it.
I don't mind it in some ways, but I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, I don't know. So with Tiffany, I'm excited to see what they do with her. I really would love for her to be against Bianca. I think that would be sick. And she has to beat Bianca. She has to.
Oh, she has to.
Especially if they're going to try to go with this whole idea that Tiffany's not taken seriously and stuff. Okay, if she beats Bianca, you kind of have to take her seriously. Like, So, Queen Tiffy. And then, let's see. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this other than this match is just ridiculous. Hello. Chad Gable versus Ivar. What are you supposed to say about this? It's absolutely insane. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I don't understand how they both do these things. How does Chad Gable pick this man up?
That's my question. That's literally my number one question.
How is this man like 3 times his size and he German suplexes him? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I had to talk about it because you love Chad Gable. We both love us some Ivar. So this was a banger. But I also feel like maybe this will finally be the end of Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. I really want to see the end of that.
No, I think that was the final of their little trilogy or whatever it was. Saga.
It was more than that.
Because it was a saga.
Trilogy like times I know trilogy times 3. It was like
it was a lot.
3 trilogies.
It was so long. So like I feel with the WrestleMania approaching too, and the rumblings online that I may or may not disagree with, like you need to get Gable out of that little pigeonhole you have him in with facing the Viking Raiders and whatnot, and you need Ivar to be kind of doing his own thing and creating feuds with guys just out of grudge and blood feud and whatnot. Like really steering to the skid with this. I mean, one thing I really enjoyed last night was the different type of production stuff they were doing, and one of it being the old school promo right before the match. So
Yes.
you actually get to hear Ivar speak, and he was pretty good. Like he, brought you in to like, oh, all right, I'm into this. I have a feeling that Ivar could win this thing. You need him to be in more of that role, and just look at the guys that he could feud with on Raw.
Mm-hmm. We can touch on it. Chad Gable has been facing Gunther at house shows.
Yeah.
And they keep having him win via disqualification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am not happy about it. I'm not happy
I
about it. I
know.
don't want to see Chad Gable versus Gunther, and I know I'm in the minority. I know everybody in the chat is going to disagree with me because all of you want to see Chad Gable be Intercontinental Champion. I don't know. I'm just over their story. I feel like we've already seen it. He's just been so far removed. Obviously, next week they can get him back involved, and everyone's going to pretend like it hasn't been like 3 months since we saw his second match or third match with Gunther. I'm not into it. I wanted to see someone else for Gunther, and now I feel like this is what they're going to do. Because if they're still doing this match at house shows, it feels like they're kind of trying to gauge how people will react if they put it on Raw. So, and Gunther has like no clear opponent for Mania right now. So, why not revisit the one that got away with Chad Gable?
Yeah, I agree. I don't have any more today about it
But
because
you want to see it.
I want to see it, and to me, when I see house show matchups, I don't put a lot of stock into it. I think now is a little bit more enticing because they have a little bit of history there, but to me, I don't put a lot of stock in it because it's its own little, cinematic universe. You want to
See, for
call it?
me though, it's just like they've already done it twice. Like I would want to see something different. It's kind of like what they did with Gunther versus Sheamus, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Like it got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go and it's gonna be a triple threat. So that was like a little bit different than him just facing Sheamus 101 or facing Drew McIntyre 101. They changed it by making it a triple threat. I don't know. I just don't care. I'm not invested whatsoever in Chad Gable versus Gunther part 3. I don't really care. That's why I was saying, like, if that was what they wanted to do at Mania, if they felt that Chad Gable was the right guy to dethrone Gunther, then it was a mistake to be having their matches happen when they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was way too early, way too far away from Mania. So if that's what they're going to do, I just don't really see how Gable can just be like, I'm going to get my match again. It's like, but why? What have you been doing? You've been literally facing a fake Viking for like 3 months. Like I don't really.
Viking.
Well, he's not a real Viking. Vikings are dead. Come on.
You know what? He is. It's real to him. Damn it! All right.
Well,
He's a real Viking.
Well, it is to Michael Cole too that he's obsessed with those antlers. So
he loses. She doesn't come out with antlers. I think there's a connection we can make there.
I don't know, but I do see that Marcus agrees with me. He's like, I'm always on your side. Yes, King Marcus. He understands. But yeah,
right.
Richard says it was supposed to be Gunther Brock, but we know what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I get it, guys. I just don't agree. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Dickie, I agree with you, my dude. Don't you worry. I agree.
I don't want it.
That's fine. I need the peeps need to see Chad Gable holding up a title. What are you touching?
Richard says Bianca will beat Tiffany at Mania. Bianca will humble Tiffany. Why though? What does she need?
Why are we? Whoa! Why? I did not know Richard was a Bianca Belair stan. That's kind of.
That's
funny.
fine. You can like Bianca.
I don't hate it. I love.
Don't
that,
underestimate Queen Tiffy.
Don't.
If you guys haven't seen her matches with Bianca or with Becky, go watch them. Especially that match, especially their last one. It wasn't a no holds barred. It was like a no disqualification or something like that.
Yeah, no disqualification street fight.
And didn't she start bleeding like in the first few minutes? And that was the one where Becky messed up her arm, that nasty arm cut that she got. Um. Anyway, then we go on to the main event. Speaking of Gunther,
It's just me,
Gunther,
Oos.
Gunther
They
versus Jey
want ish.
Uso. I was dying. I died when I saw it last night, seeing Pat McAfee doing that, and then just like abruptly stop because Gunther was
Oh
just
my
like, "You're
god,
an
that was
idiot."
so funny.
I felt
Pat
like
McAfee's
that
me.
was
I was
yes, no, I was gonna say Jey Uso comes out, Pat McAfee was you, Gunther's me. Me looking at you at WrestleMania. That is because I'm gonna be hardcore. I'm gonna, if we get Jimmy versus Jay, which we'll talk about, I am gonna be all about the no yeet.
no,
Jimmy's
I'm wearing my sweatshirt proudly.
Jimmy is
Yeet.
hilarious. Jimmy is
I
hilarious.
am. I love Jay. He's I'm a huge
Jimmy's
fan of him.
Jimmy's way funnier also. But anyway, um, so we got this match as the main event, which was pretty cool. And I felt like they actually were making it feel important, even though it was on Raw and it couldn't happen at Elimination Chamber because Gunther is having visa issues, whatever. So I thought that was really cool because I feel like some of the other times where they've had him defend on Raw and not at the pay-per-view, because there was those 3 in a row where he didn't go, they put it like in the middle of the show. It wasn't the main event, and so it didn't feel as important or as big. And so I liked that they did that on this week, and it went according to plan, guys. I saw one of you at the beginning say, "Sarah, you got what you wanted with Jimmy interfering."
Damn
Yes,
right.
guys, I predicted this. How many weeks ago? I said this was going to happen. Jimmy interferes
Told.
by ringing that bell, and he allows Gunther to take advantage, so he is
That
able
was
to
awesome.
get the win. And then Jimmy gets in the ring and is like, "Hey, no matter how big you get, I'm always the big brother." And he was getting all in his face about him trying to win a title before him. So I loved this. Obviously, this sets up Jay versus Jimmy, which I was actually kind of shocked about the amount of people who don't want to see it. When you
Oh,
asked
that's
me,
fickle. That's
well, this
so
is
fickle, you
a
fans.
few months ago, you'll find it if you guys watch the videos. A few months ago, I said I had no interest in it. And it was because it was a couple months ago. Based on what we were seeing at that time, I had absolutely no interest in it. Now I feel like I'm not like super invested into it, but I'm more interested now than I was a few months ago, just because the bloodline story has been kind of dead. And if this kind of revitalizes it, then outside of Roman, because obviously we have Roman and Rock and Cody, if this kind of gives them some more story,
Hmm.
then I'm for it because I enjoy seeing Jimmy and Jay interact. This is what
Hmm.
they want too. And I think that that's something that people aren't realizing, that maybe it's not a match that you necessarily wanted or that you're really looking forward to, but this is literally a dream for Jimmy and Jay.
Oh,
Like,
it's yeah. This goes
they literally
beyond.
just they talked about it in their interview with Ariel Hawani last year, that a dream match for them would be to face off at WrestleMania. So that's the thing too. I can't get mad about that. I can't get mad about brothers wanting to face each other at WrestleMania. Like, if that's a dream for them and they're able to actually do it, then by all means do it. And pretty historic for us to be there to see it. So,
Oh, 1,000%. Like this is a match that just is inevitably like it was supposed to happen, and
mhm,
with things going on in the bloodline, it's the perfect time to do it because there's a lot of connect with the family stuff. And if we're going to get that big payoff at Mania and you need Cody to have guys to align himself with,
mhm.
Jey Uso is going to be there, and his guy that'll help him protect against is Jimmy Uso. Or Jey Uso will be on Cody's side to protect
Yeah.
against Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
So, like this match gonna slap because like the build up to it being at WrestleMania this year, and with Jay getting the title opportunities, even though he is the younger brother, and how over he got
Okay, he's probably
when
younger by like 6 minutes. Let's stop.
okay, you know what I mean.
I'm
Okay.
just saying.
You don't you I know what you're doing. So because of that, like they're going to play into that, even if it is for how minimal of seconds. But because of that, it's an easy way to put that in there so you have some real tension and real like, blood boiling that will pay off in a match like that. And it might be just a regular match. It could be a no disqualification because it's at Mania, that like and they go all over the place, and it's just an all out war. Like there's so much more you can do with it now than if you try to do it, when he first cost him the title.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how they choose who wins because I feel like that's not an easy decision when
No,
they're both like, I want to win and I want to win. And I mean, I think it really depends. Like, if they really are going to go with Cody winning, I don't think that there's a right answer to Jimmy or Jay winning. I think Jay
no,
winning could be okay, cool, yay, we got one win for the good guys. But then Jimmy winning also could make the bloodline feel confident going in against
yeah,
Cody. So I feel
I
it
like
could go
that
either
too.
way, but um
And I feel like if Jimmy wins, it could set up a trilogy.
yeah, possibly. Um so I do want to talk about one more thing
All right.
because I don't know if you guys are followers of his on Twitter. I'm assuming it's a him just given the context. But if you're interested in stuff that the tomfoolery that is online with some of these questionable wrestling insiders, Wrestle Votes. He
Yeah,
pissed
I'll
me
let
off.
you go off, girl.
He
I'll let you
pissed
go
me
off.
off, brother. He pissed me off last night because he put out after Raw that he was kind of confused about what happened in the main event because the original plan was for Jay Uso to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And he's confused because that's what people were told and blah, blah, blah. And I just want to be like, hey, Wrestle Votes. Can you explain to me how that makes sense? Can you explain how that's logical? Can you explain to me who decided that? And can you explain to me why you're trying to put that out there to also make Gunther look like he just was a last minute decision to remain champion? Can you please tell me why that would have ever crossed anyone's mind as a good idea weeks before WrestleMania with a guy who is now officially the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion? Can you explain? Can you explain, sir? Can you explain to me your side about why you think that would be a good idea? Because it's not. There's no good reason for Gunther to have lost to Jay, especially when they have literally no substance to their feud. It just came about 2 weeks
Zero.
ago.
The
So if
only
they,
thing I can. Oh,
I was just gonna say, if they weren't gonna have Chad Gable beat him, why would they have Jay Uso beat him? That doesn't make any sense. There was at least like an actual feud and hostility between him and Chad Gable. There's literally nothing other than Gunther just having a problem with Yeet in the dance. That's it. Like, oh yeah, that guy needs to beat you because you guys are really hating each other. This just really pissed me off. It's just like, stop trying to be an insider. You're not an insider. This is a joke.
yeah. No, it 1000% is. The only thing I can think of why this person would say this is that they believe that Jimmy and Jay needs a feud. Yeah, I
And
mean,
a leaker.
sir, and
Wrestle
yeah,
Votes just got exposed. You got exposed,
you-
Wrestle Votes.
that would have been a terrible decision.
Exactly,
We
Ashton.
cannot agree more. We
And that's
cannot
the
agree more.
thing. So many people who are huge Jey Uso fans were also like, what the hell? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whoa.
Because then there were
Me.
people that were saying, oh, yeah, that makes sense because that finish was weird. No, it wasn't. If you
It
didn't know that
wasn't.
Jimmy was going to make sure he couldn't win the title like 4 months ago, even before this was on your radar, then you're just blind. Like,
You're
you
really
knew this
blind.
was going to be the finish. You knew Jay had no chance. Come on. Like, and the fact that he was just trying to put this out there, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this, it would be different if this was like Logan Paul. You know what I mean? Not
Oh
somebody
yeah.
like Gunther. 600 days as Intercontinental Champion, breaking records left and right, has defended his title nearly 100 times. Like, come on.
Agreed.
I want to call it Wrestle Votes by name. Whatever your name is, Wrestle Votes. I just got really mad.
You
Made me
really just got
so mad.
you made Sarah mad. What are you
You made me
doing?
mad. Just because
Was
it's so
not.
dumb. Look at Ashton be like,
It
go
was.
off. Marcus saying, preach. That's right. This is, I got my army. Everyone.
You got your own little Avengers.
Yeah, all of the people who agree with me. Yeah, that's right.
I'll just stick here on my island of irrelevancy.
No, you got some fans in here too.
I do have a
You
few.
just tend to not get as passionate about things as I do.
I do like it's a small dose. Like
Yeah.
it's really small. But
Well,
when you hit
also
it, oh,
because you're a babyface lover, so like
oh,
usually they win. So you don't have much to complain about.
I have
Like,
nothing really to complain about except the
yeah.
product itself, what
There's
it's
only a
for.
few baby faces that I'm like, I love you. And I'll
I
die
love
for
them
you,
all.
and that's
I
like
love
Cody.
them all. Like
Yeah.
Otis, oh my god, I go to war for Otis.
Oh yeah, you loved when he won the Money in the Bank.
I did love that. It was
Of course you
nice, and
did.
then
You
they
wanted him
took
to be
it off him.
champion so bad.
He could have had like a day-long reign. I don't know.
Stop
I mean, it was
it.
the freaking pandemic era.
Stop
Anything could have
it.
friggin' happened.
Stop it right
Don't
now.
mind that the Miz took it off him and won. Forget it.
Look at Vinny. Vinny's in your camp, okay?
They
There you go. You know you probably have more than me. Our channel is mostly men. I'm sure they believe I'm the one who gets a
I
lot of the hate.
disagree with
You
that.
get
I
comments from
disagree
wait,
with
you get hate comments because you have a title on your shoulder. I get hate comments because I'm a woman. Like I
that
think
is
there's a
true.
difference. There's a difference there. I'm
I
gonna have
mean,
less people. Yeah, but you just get the he's such
they're
an
just
idiot with this belt. I'm the one who's like she's stupid. She's a woman. She's never
yeah.
watched wrestling before. She doesn't know what she's talking about. This
It's like,
bimbo
well, clearly you haven't watched past the first second of this video. Like what?
or that
I
guy who
don't.
told me I had a concave head.
Yeah, give him a sweet chin music to the dome. Like I don't.
I know. Give him
This
an
is why we need to
RKO.
fight
Get
right
you
to
an RKO, brother. Yeah.
the one lucky
Come fight me
punch,
in
Logan
Philly. I'll
Paul.
meet you at the Rocky statue.
I do have to run the Rocky steps when we go. That
Have
is
you not
like
done
that's a
that?
must.
I
No, I
did.
got to do like all the. I got to take a day to do like all the Philly stuff.
Well, we're gonna have to see depending on our schedule.
I might have to. I might have to get there early. I'm taking that
Well,
like basically the whole week off. I'm taking a long
well,
time
maybe
off of that.
Sunday because Sunday before Mania we won't have anything to
Yeah,
do.
that's true.
But yeah, no, I went to the Rocky statue and I went up the stairs. I didn't go the whole way. But
Oh,
yeah, no,
you gotta go.
I had to see it because my mother made us watch Rocky when we were children. So
It's a American classic.
yeah, and Carl Weathers.
Yeah, I know.
Apollo was my favorite character, so that was really sad. Him and Polly.
Mickey.
I,
Yeah,
I know
Paulie. Yeah,
I
Paulie.
loved Polly. Yeah, I was weird as a child. I don't know.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
I'm trying to see. Is there any comments that you want to get to?
This one just stuck out. Jimmy versus Jay night 1. Then night 2, you have Jay and Cody's side. And then you have Cody and Seth help Jay. Help Cody when Jimmy and Solo rock. Yeah, I agree with all of this. This is basically what it is.
I just would like to hope that Jay versus Jimmy isn't going to overtake the possibility of EO versus Bailey being the main event.
Bailey and EO definitely deserve the main event.
They have to. I really hope that they build it up properly for people to get invested because I think if Drew wins to face Seth, that one's going to be a tricky one to compete with, possibly. I'm saying I want it to be Bailey EO, but I'm just saying like history has shown us that they don't always care about building women's stories into being a potential main event. So I don't know that I'm like 100% confident that Triple H will put the time and effort into making the Bailey EO story bigger to be the obvious choice for main event night 1. I really wouldn't be surprised if they do it because it's the Uso versus the Uso. Like I just wouldn't be shocked, honestly.
Wouldn't put it past them, but still,
yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, and it's not for a title. Like if you're not gonna have the world heavyweight as the main event night 1, which I don't think it doesn't need to necessarily, then have it be the women, especially because of how disappointed everyone was last year that they didn't put Charlotte Rhea at the main event.
Yeah, and imagine Bailey getting the main event over Charlotte.
I would. Yeah, but Charlotte's already been in the main event of Mania.
No, but I'm saying like everyone said Charlotte should have been the main event with Rhea and all that, and then it's Bailey and EO who gets it, who really deserve it.
I know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, it would be very, very, very cool.
That's really all the comments.
No, I know it's not at the top of the steps. I was just saying I didn't go at the top of the steps. Yeah, the Rocky statue's at the bottom. I was saying I didn't go all the way up the steps.
Our emotion.
I also haven't seen the bell. Also,
oh, I gotta see the Liberty Bell. That's American history.
But see, like I just don't really care. It's just a big bell with a crack in it. It's kind of like looking at the Plymouth Rock. Like, cool, okay, I saw it. You know
what? If I went to Plymouth Rock, I think I have to go to Liberty Bell, because like, all right, I had to go. Like like the feeling I was like I have to go see it, and I was so like underwhelmed. Like at this point, I mean, if I'm gonna go to Philly and I know I'm gonna be underwhelmed, but I gotta see it anyways. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was Raw. We will be back on Thursday, probably, to talk
Thursday.
about our
Yeah.
predictions for
I'm
Elimination
in.
Chamber. And then I don't think I'll split those into clips. I might. We'll see. Probably not. I don't
Too
know.
close.
Yeah, it depends because the go home shows are really hard because you want to clip them, but you can't clip them and post them after the pay-per-view
Makes no sense.
because it
Yeah.
makes no sense. So it'll depend. But we will be back on Saturday, probably around at the same time, if that's possible for Mr. Popular here. Then we can
Oh
talk
no, we're
about.
taking the weekend off.
Oh, so we can't record?
No, 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 no. No, time out. I meant taking the weekend off from being Mr. Popular.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to a wedding the week after.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I need to rest up, and I can't find a better way to rest up than watch Elimination Chamber and talk about it with the peeps.
okay, so we'll be back on Saturday after Thursday at the same time, 6 Eastern, to talk about Elimination Chamber. So you guys should join us. Maybe the next pay-per-view we can like go live during the pay-per-view. Just not gonna happen this time when it's on at 3 a.m. So
Or the next time when we're at the next pay-per-view.
oh, that's right. Yeah, maybe we can go live like
Maybe
yeah.
beforehand, before outside the arena or something. I don't know. We're gonna do some weird experimental type content stuff in Philly when we go because
Yes.
that's the next step with everything. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm excited.
Thanks for
I know
chatting with us today, guys. You filled up our chat. That was very exciting.
that was
We
awesome.
because there are some days where there's no one talking. So it's really nice
There
when
is.
we can kind of get ideas and stuff for conversations based on what you guys are saying. So thank y'all.
Thank you. Sarah Nathaniel says that it's time for you to get a Slater jersey.
That is true because I am very superstitious, so I don't like to get jerseys or anything of players that are active because every time I have in the past, they either got traded or got hurt. So,
Oh,
um,
you're like Madden. You and your
yeah.
curses. That's
So
tough.
so I can't do it. So now that my one of my favorite players, Matthew Slater, is retiring, I might get his jersey or his T-shirt jersey because I never wear jerseys, honestly.
Mm.
Um, they're not comfortable and it's way too friggin' hot here in Arizona to just like throw on a jersey just for the sake of it. You know what I mean? Like they're not a breathable fabric. Yes, I am mother. That you are the first one to ever call me mother. Now
That's
someone needs to
hilarious.
call Pat daddy.
No, no.
Daddy Patty.
No, Poppy.
Daddy Patty.
No, I like Poppy. I want to be called Poppy.
That sounds
Poppy's
gross.
awesome.
That sounds worse.
That's what I get called at work, and that it's awesome.
By a bunch of men. A bunch of men call you Poppy.
Hispanic men.
Well,
Okay.
call you Father Patrick.
That sounds too
Yeah.
Catholicism-ish. I don't like that. I've been to
Yes, of course. My first jersey was a Tom Brady jersey. I
Yours is
got
Tom
one.
Brady?
My first jersey, yeah. My first jersey ever was, and it's horrific, but I still have it because my grandfather has passed on. But he got me a Super Bowl 42 Brady jersey. So it
Oh,
has like
okay.
the Super Bowl 42 patch on it
Well,
and
that's
it's
cool.
white. Yeah, but you know what happened at that Super Bowl,
I
so that's why
do,
but my
unfortunately.
grandfather has passed away, so I still have it. And then
Oh,
my mom got me my first like real like blue Brady jersey in like 2000, I don't know, 7, 2008, but and the only size left was like a men's medium and that was when they were gigantic, so I could wear it as a dress. Um I also have a Gronk jersey. So,
oh,
um but yeah, that was after that is when I stopped because my mom was going to get me a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey for my birthday, and the year she was going to do that is when he got traded. So,
that's so funny.
yeah, when she got a Will Fork jersey, Will Fork left and went to the Texans. Like it's just bad. So we don't do it anymore.
That's so funny. I
Yeah.
think my first jersey was a Drew Bledsoe jersey.
Mm,
It was
yeah.
Bledsoe, Brett Favre. I had a
Yes.
Zach Thomas. I
Yeah,
was
but
obsessed with Zach Thomas.
see,
I think I was like,
I don't do the jerseys of other teams. It's
oh, I
Patriots
love
or
it.
nobody. So
Oh no, I rep all the peeps.
I can't do it. Nope.
I have too many favorites.
My heart is in New England, so I can't do it.
I wish I could say I feel that, but my heart's in many places all at once.
Okay.
Well, that's a very somber way to end it. But don't worry, we'll be back on Thursday to give our Elimination Chamber predictions, as Sarah said. And she gave you the schedule, so I'll go tell you where you can follow us for updates, tweets, and our just nonsensical thoughts over on X, Instagram, in the links in the description below. And yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you Thursday. Yes.